It's day 4 of World Matsuri Week, and today we're taking a look at some cars from my favorite decade, the 1980s. So grab your Wayfarers, put on some synthwave, and take a look at these rad rides.
All the way from Nesttun, Norway, here's Henning Dirkelboten's 1982 Toyota Hi-Ace G20. This stock Hi-Ace has fewer than 14,000 original kilometers and formerly served as a fire truck for a rural Norwegian county. Henning reports that his van looks and smells like a new car. Evan Poole of Plumas Lake, California presents his 1985 Toyota Supra. This creatively modified, 5-time JCCS veteran features a highly tuned 2JZ GTE engine, as well as a veritable catalog's worth of aftermarket components. This creatively modified 1982 Mazda RX-7 comes to us from Mika Gove of Murrieta, California. Mika has shown this clean, classic RX-7 at JCCS on 2 previous occasions. With a different approach to an early RX-7, here's Joaquin Garay's 1984 GSL SE. Joaquin has owned his Mazda for nearly a decade and is showing it at JCCS for the second time this year. Jonathan Ortiz of Ontario, California is the proud owner of this 1988 Nissan 300ZX Turbo. Riding on Powertrix ultralight coilovers, this Z31 is a relatively recent acquisition for Jonathan, who is an avid Z-car enthusiast and collector. This 1986 Honda Today is presented by Chris Nicholson and the Lane Motor Museum of Nashville, Tennessee. Honda's first K car of the 1980s, these 1,400-pound, 31-horsepower city cars were enormously popular in Japan in their day, but now are hard to find in good condition, harder still outside of their home country. Charlotte, North Carolina's Jonathan Redling owns this period-style 1988 Honda Civic. Though powered by its original D15 B2 motor, Jonathan has converted this Civic sedan suspension to a coilover setup. He's showing the car at JCCS for the first time in 2020. Tony Hunter of Glendora, California brings us his long-term owned 1982 Datsun 280ZX. Largely in original condition, Tony's S130 is a repeat visitor to JCCS. Here's Keith Dahl's near-stock 1986 Toyota FJ60 Land Cruiser from Scottsdale, Arizona. Being shown at JCCS for the first time this year, this FJ60 has had its original 4-speed transmission replaced with an OEM H55F 5-speed, but is otherwise almost exactly as it was when it first left the factory. Also being shown at JCCS for the first time in 2020 is the 1984 Mazda RX-7 belonging to Anthony Stevenson of Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. This original, unrestored survivor car still runs under the power of its original 12A engine. Marvin Jansen of Gelderland, Holland presents this Euro-spec 1983 Mitsubishi Galant 1600 GLX. This stately sedan packs 75 horsepower and a 5-speed manual gearbox. Marvin is taking advantage of JCCS's online format for 2020 to show off his Galant from across the Atlantic. From Ojai, California, here's Sean Dana's 1987 Toyota Celica GT convertible. This quintessential California cruiser has been in Sean's family since new. Sean restored the car in 2015 with an eye on maintaining as much of the car's originality as possible.
Hi, my name is Sean Dana. I'm from Ojai, California, and this is my 1987 Toyota Celica GT convertible.
We'll be back with more cars of the 80s after a message from Yokohama Tire, as well as a sneak preview of some exciting new diecast from Kaido House and MiniGT. Yokohama Tire has been a loyal supporter and exclusive tire sponsor of JCCS since day one in 2005, when 200 cars gathered at the Queen Mary for our first show. That first year, the organizers of JCCS approached Yokohama Tire with their ambitious plans for a first-ever American show for Japanese Kyusha automobiles. Yokohama generously accepted this invitation to sponsor JCCS, and we have never forgotten their generous support then or now. This year, and as always, one winner of our Kyusha Workmanship and Presentation Awards will receive a set of Yokohama tires as a top prize. Here is Yokohama Tire with legendary designer Jun Imai of Kaido House, along with his 240Z and Nissan Skyline. And now for some exciting news. Today is the day we unveil the first collaboration between Kaido House and premium 1/64 scale diecast company MiniGT. Legendary designer Jun Imai has partnered with MiniGT to develop a new line of very special model cars. Jun is a hugely influential figure in the model car industry, and JCCS is honored to have the opportunity to give you a sneak peek at this new collection. The first model to debut is a Datsun 510 Pro Street, the first time we've seen a 510 drag car in 1/64 scale. It comes complete with full metal body, chassis, and alloy wheel barrels. The opening hood reveals a Greddy-built KA24DE Turbo, the same engine being built for Jun's well-known full-size 510 wagon. A full race interior, slammed ride height, and meaty slicks pave the way for more street-modified castings for this line. Watch for this line to drop in early 2021. More updates will be coming soon. Now back to the cars of the 1980s here on Day 4 of World Matsuri Week, presented by Japanese Classic Car Show. Ernie Wee of Lake Balboa, California is the original owner of this 1989 Acura Integra LS. This period-style Integra was the feature car for Super Street Magazine's 10th anniversary issue and has been shown at JCCS every year since our first show in 2005. With another early Integra, here's Abner Arguia's 1987 DA3 out of Las Vegas, Nevada. This creatively modified Integra boasts a highly tuned, turbocharged D16A1 capable of producing over 250 horsepower. From Lakewood, California, Oscar Blabogno brings us his 1986 Toyota Cressida. This elegant luxury sedan is an original Survivor car and is completely stock except for wheels and tires. Oscar is showing his Cressida at JCCS for the first time this year. Mike Samashima's 1981 Datsun 200 SX is a regular visitor to Japanese classic car show, with at least 5 past appearances on the books. Mike is the original owner of this period-style S110. This 1988 Nissan Skyline HR31 4-door was recently acquired by David Kim of Shoreline, Washington. Presented for the first time at JCCS in period style, David simply describes his Skyline as low and slow. The American Honda collection in Torrance, California brings us their 1986 Honda Civic Si. This seminal hot hatch is one of few remaining in 100% stock original condition after nearly 35 years. Speaking of originality, Chris Hoffman's 1980 Honda Accord LX 3-door has accumulated only 19,000 miles since new. An avid Honda collector based in Long Beach, California, Chris reports that his Accord's factory standard AC still blows ice cold. This year, we're delighted to welcome the members of Team Old School Imports of Hawaii to JCCS. Their cars span 3 decades of Kyusha heritage in the Pacific Islands, and we're thrilled to get to share these gems with you as part of World Matsuri Week online. First up, here's Tommy Dolormente's 1981 Toyota Starlet KP61. This Resto Mod Starlet is the only car from this year's Team Old School Imports of Hawaii contingent to have appeared previously at JCCS. Lance Hirano brings us his 1973 Toyota TE27 Sprinter Trueno. This period-style build started with a true original Sprinter Trueno and added a built 2TG AE86 front suspension and a host of other personal touches. Speaking of AE86s, here's Jeff Soriano's 1985 Toyota Corolla. This period-style Hachiroku features a heavily tuned 4AGE and 11 front fascia, and that's just the beginning of this car's extensive list of modifications. Here's the 1971 Toyota Hilux of Richard Graellos. This in-progress project truck was a fairly recent acquisition by Richard, and we look forward to seeing what he has in store for this pickup.
Always and forever, we are the keepers of this honor. Hawaiians stand and represent. Yes, we are Hawaii's finest. Illegally, they overthrew our queen and her monarchy. In 1893, no, restore liberty and justice in our Kanaka Oiwi. Let me say, stand strong, always and forever. The keepers of this honor, Hawaiians stand and represent.
Jesse Garrow lists his 1985 Toyota Corolla GTS as a Resto Mod entry, but it's clear that this car was built as an all-out drift missile. Edwin Guillermo's 1982 Toyota Corolla SR5 is one of only 200 converted into convertibles by the Griffith Company. Edwin has further personalized his car with numerous engine and suspension mods. Andy Lum's 1972 Datsun 240Z is a period-style S30 with true 70s flair, including original BRE components and BRE tribute stripes. Our oldest entry from Team Old School Imports of Hawaii is the 1969 Toyota Hilux of Rees Machino. This resto-mod pickup is powered by a 22R swap mated to a W50 5-speed gearbox. Finally, here's Lance Sugiyama's creatively modified 1976 Datsun 280Z. This Z has it all, from a highly tuned 3-liter L28 to custom fabricated G-nose and fender flares. Thanks again to the members of Team Old School Imports of Hawaii for their contribution to Japanese classic car show's World Matsuri Week 2020. And now it's time for Kyusha Trivia, brought to you by Japanese Nostalgic Car. Japanese Nostalgic Car is the premier English-language site for classic Japanese cars, and each day during World Matsuri Week, they'll be bringing you a trivia question to test your Kyusha knowledge. If you answer correctly, you'll be entered into a daily drawing for a sticker set from JNC and JCCS. To submit your answer, go to JapaneseNostalgicCar.com and click the JCCS 2020 link. And now, here's today's Kyusha Trivia question. Today's trivia question is sponsored by Yokohama Tire. Yokohama's brand of Advan performance tires was launched in 1978. What was special about the Advan HF Type D that came out in 1981? Go to JapaneseNostalgicCar.com to submit your answer. Good luck!
We're only getting started with our exploration of great 80s classics. Join us tomorrow for more cars from the awesome 80s. Until then, I'm Patrick Strong from World Matsuri Week and Japanese Classic Car Show. Thanks for joining us.